Good evening and welcome to the Fantasy Football KE. Yeah, I am your host, Papa Deno, aka Papa Disaster, or you can just call me Papa D. Welcome to the show, guys. This is the Fantasy Football KE, and today we are going to be discussing about the title race for the WSL. Yeah, today we are going to be talking about the WSL. The WSL is hotting up. It is turning out to be a very, very highly contested season yet again. Just like last season, Man United took Chelsea to the wire, to the limit. And this season, it is none other than Manchester City themselves. Yeah. So, without much further ado, let me give you the lowdown of how things went down in the last match week of WSL. That is match week 21. And give you the results of how things unfolded in the WSL. Yeah. So, hop aboard, put your earpods on, get that speaker going on, and get ready to be tantalized. Get ready to be amazed by the excitement that is the WSL. Yeah. So, anyways, hope you guys have had a fantastic week. Hope you guys have had a fantastic beginning of the week, and last weekend was great as well. But without having to pilfer too much into it, I'll just give you things how things unfolded out, and let me take you right away straight into the action. Yeah. So the WSL is currently on its match week 21, and the league table as things are standing, Chelsea lead Manchester City. Both sides have played 21 games. They have 52 points. The difference is the goal difference. Chelsea have a goal difference of plus 47, while Manchester City have a goal difference of plus 45. And remember, before going into this match, Manchester City were leading the league. Yeah, remember, even after Chelsea's loss to Liverpool, the 4-3 loss at Liverpool, Manchester City were comfortably leading the league, despite Chelsea having the game in hand. They were comfortably leading the league. That is before game week 21. Yeah, that is just right after game week 20 when Manchester City beat Bristol City 4-0. Yeah. So, what has changed? 2 weeks later, what has changed? What has suddenly made Chelsea get into the top of the league and have the superior advantage in terms of goal difference, despite Manchester City having a better goal difference than Chelsea in the last 2 weeks? So, what has changed? What happened? How did Emma Hayes and Chelsea, how are they able to flip in the switch and turn out things and change the results for the favor of Chelsea? I will just give you all the tidbits, all the lowdowns, all the info as to how things unfolded in the WSL. So let's get right into it. Yeah. Remember in game week 20, Manchester City, after their Bristol City game, Manchester City were leading the WSL, high on the table, 52 points, and with a comfortable goal difference, having just beaten Bristol City 4-0. They had a goal difference of 45. Chelsea had a goal difference of 38, So how did Chelsea get here? Chelsea had a goal difference of 39. So Manchester City were leading Chelsea by a whopping 7 goal difference. And they were ahead of Chelsea by 3 points because Chelsea had 49 points, but they still had that game in hand. Yeah, that one that was always looming, having played 19 games, So Manchester City always looked like they were poised to win their first WSL title since 2016. 8 years in the making. It's been too long for Manchester City. Yeah. So as things unfolded, Chelsea looked more out of it, considering having been just eliminated from the Champions League semi-final by Barcelona, having been knocked out by Manchester United in the FA Cup semi-final, having lost to Arsenal in the Conti Cup final. It looked like things were going all wrong for Emma Hayes and Chelsea. It looked like on her swan song, she was going to end up with no trophy, And she even admitted it. I remember in our last previous post about our last post in the for the Liverpool game, Emma Hayes herself admitted that most likely than most, mathematically they were still in there, but most likely there was going to be no trophy at the King's Meadow for Chelsea this year, and there was sort of a collective form of acceptance in the team, despite as I told you before, Chelsea are not, they are not a side who like to just take the comfort of being mathematically still in the title race. So there was a collective feeling of acceptance, of admittance that this season things have not worked out as they wanted, results have not fallen into their favor, and that probably they accepted it. It was much more of a goner, like they were just going to finish trophyless. So what changed in the span of those 2 weeks? What happened? How did Manchester City get themselves in this position? How did they go from favorable title contenders to more or less hopeful? I'll give you all the details. So Chelsea going on into game week 20, having after the end of game week 20, that is, Chelsea were well out of it, 3 points behind Manchester City and having a very, very less superior goal difference. And the game week 21 fixture, Arsenal were playing Manchester City away from home, and Chelsea were playing Spurs and Bristol City. For the of course, both 2 games were winnable for Chelsea, but then again, now the circumstances had changed because they were sort of under pressure to bring those results. And I know Chelsea are used to performing under pressure, but this was a different kind of pressure because they had to match everything that Manchester City were doing. And looking at Arsenal, the way their season has been, the way they have fallen out of the contention of the league and everything, the way Arsenal had conducted themselves in the last few remaining matches, it looked as though Arsenal were not going to do the job for Chelsea against Manchester City. And then again, also, if you have to factor in the rivalry between Arsenal and Chelsea, for Arsenal to be able to just, I know it is good for them in terms of the bragging rights and all, and in terms of just getting another win. As a team, you play to win. It was in Arsenal's best interest to win, but then again, Arsenal really had nothing to gain from it. They had already secured the last spot for Champions League qualification in the WSL. They were nowhere near the title contest. It's not like even if they won this game against City, they were going to help their title chances. They were already well out of it. So, and I remember we told you way this earlier, some of us saw it earlier than others, coming back in the game whereby Arsenal lost to West Ham, So it did feel like Chelsea were out of it, That is why I'm telling you, there was a collective feeling like Chelsea, they were just mainly playing these games for formality. In their minds, I know Chelsea sort of expected Manchester City would not necessarily beat Arsenal, but they were going to be able to get the favorable result. That is the 3 points. They were able to do the professional job and get the 3 points at Arsenal. So, how did things change? How did Manchester City, coming from a favorable position, how did they end up to relying on Spurs to hold Chelsea? And remember, Spurs going into this match, Spurs had already lost in the FA Cup final after being drubbed 4-0 by Manchester United. By the way, we did an episode about that one, so be sure to check it out. Yeah, we did an episode about Manchester United's first major title win in their history, basically. So go on into our portfolio, go on into our socials, go on into our profile and click on it. It is one of the latest episodes that we have released for you. So anyways, back to the matters at hand. So going into this match, there was a lot of lingering sort of unbelief, sort of shaky. Chelsea still felt that even if they were able to do their job, beat Bristol City and beat Spurs and sort of try to make up on the goal difference. Remember, the goal difference was a whopping 7 goals behind, so it did feel like they still needed something to work out somewhere. It still felt like it was away from them. So going on into double game week 21, remember, by the way, it was a double game week 21 in the WSL, and Manchester City were playing Arsenal, Chelsea were playing first against Bristol City over the weekend, and then finally Spurs during the midweek, which was played yesterday. So first things first, yeah. Remember, Chelsea were trailing Manchester City by 6 points. Yeah, they were trailing Manchester City by 6 points and a goal difference of +7. That is before the beginning of game week 21 in the WSL. So things did not look like they were going to happen for them. Yeah, and as I told you, Emma Hayes in their last match against Liverpool after their 4-3 loss, Emma Hayes sort of admitted things were not going to work out, and she had sort of thrown in the towel. Although she did just put it out there that maybe mathematically they were still there, but on the general, she was not really into the mathematical kind of things. So going on into double game week 21, it was City's title to lose. Just get a good result against Arsenal, get those 3 points, even if it will have to be a hard-fought 1-0 win, a hard-fought 2-1 win, a hard-fought 5-4, 6-5, sort of just get over the line, get those 3 points. Those were the only important things for Manchester City. And it seemed like they were well on course to do that, taking a lead there in the first half, courtesy of Lauren Hemp, Again, I remember for our fantasy WSL managers, we told you to go for Lauren Hemp. Lauren Hemp against Arsenal, it is always a guaranteed. She always gets in the score sheet. She always assists or just pulls up with the surprises and contributes positively into the game in terms of goals or assists. So, and in typical fashion, I mean, Lauren Hemp opened the scoring through a well-taken goal to give Manchester City the early lead in the first half. And the way City were playing, pushing, they were taking Arsenal to the limit, making sure that they were gonna take away all those 3 points. And Manchester City looked that they were on course for a win. But surprise, just when things looked like they were going to be over, in the 89th minute, Manchester City's greatest nightmare, Stina Blackstenius, came in as a substitute like 7 minutes ago in the 81st minute, and she did the job. She pulled in with the surprise, pulled in with the goodies, and she scored a 3-minute brace to all of a sudden put Manchester City's plans in the ashes. And just like that, the title was back in the favor of Chelsea. Manchester City there dropping the points when they needed to get over the line, and they dropped the points. And the game ended 2-1, Arsenal winning 2-1, despite not benefiting anything from that win other than just a bragging right. And they were able to hand in their London rivals an early assist into the match. And Chelsea did take advantage of it. They took advantage of it fully, winning 8-0 against Bristol City. Not only did they make up for the goal difference, but they went 1 up over them, taking the game, and also going within 3 points away from Manchester City and having the goal difference in their hands. So, and still having that game in hand against Spurs, So that is how Manchester City's season went from probable winners to potential bottlers. And looking at it, they can only blame themselves, because in that Arsenal game, all they had to do was get a clinical result, get a result. At the end of the day, all they needed was a result. Even if a draw would have been good, because considering at the moment Chelsea and Manchester City are tied on 52 points, and Chelsea only top the league because of a better goal difference, a difference of 2 goals. So you see, a draw would have been good for Manchester City, because they will have the edge over Chelsea with that 1 point. But unfortunately for Manchester City, they lost to Arsenal, and they opened the window for Chelsea to take advantage. Yeah. So Chelsea won 8-0 against Bristol City, courtesy of 4 goals from Guro Reiten, 2 goals from Agi Beaver-Jones, 1 from Sergeant Nusken, and then the last one from Katarina Macario to seal the deal. And all of a sudden, going on into the last game in hand, their game in hand against Tottenham Hotspur, which was played in last night, Chelsea had the advantage. Now it was up to them now to do what Manchester City failed to do, get a result against Tottenham Hotspur. And Chelsea, remember, they were playing away from home. Yeah, it was another massive game for Tottenham Hotspurs, played in North London. Another game. Remember, in the previous week, Arsenal were relying on Spurs to hold Manchester City for them in the Premier League, and Spurs, in typical fashion, they failed to do the job. They could not hold Manchester City. They could not fight for themselves for the UCL. And also, as you can see, after yesterday's results, their women's team also did sort of the same thing. They fell into a 1-0 loss against Chelsea, courtesy of a goal from academy product, Japanese international Maiko Hamano, to give Chelsea the much needed 1-0 win and all the 3 points to put back Chelsea into contention and in the favourable spot of the title race. So that is how we got to Chelsea leading the WSL, and Manchester City now having to rely once again on Manchester United to sort of hold Chelsea and hold them down, hoping that they can be able to secure their first title in 8 years. Yeah. So, as things stand, Chelsea have played 21 games, Manchester City have played 21 games, just like the other one, just like the rest of the WSL contenders. And Chelsea have 52 points, Manchester City have 52 points. And the only difference is the goal difference. Chelsea have a superior goal difference of plus 47. Manchester City have plus 45. And going on into the last game of the season, Chelsea will be playing away from home again against Manchester United, a match that will be played at the Theatre of Dreams, Old Trafford. Yeah, Manchester United, remember, they've come from just winning the FA Cup, a tournament whereby they eliminated Chelsea, the defending champions, in the semi-final, and they went on to win, beating Spurs 4-0 in the final. So Chelsea going on into the match, it is a very difficult game. Remember, Manchester United have slowly become one of the best teams in the WSL. Yeah, just slightly there behind the likes of Arsenal, Chelsea and Manchester City. But in their short stay in the WSL, they've been able to position themselves into a formidable force. As you can see already, they have won the FA Cup in their 5 years existence in the WSL. And last season, they were able to push Chelsea into the limit, taking them into the wire up to the last game of the season. And in the previous season before, they were also in contention, finishing in third. And as you can see, Manchester United slowly, they are becoming a nuisance to the big girls in the league. So this game is not going to be at all, it's not going to be anywhere at all easy for Chelsea. Yeah. But then again, as we've seen, Chelsea, they tend to thrive in the hardest of moments, in the most difficult of moments, when the pressure is against them. That is when Chelsea really rise to the occasion. They have won the league for a record-setting 4 times consecutively, and they're looking for their 5th straight title. So as you can see, they know they have been to the top of the mountain. They know how to get things done. They know how to make sure they deliver on the big stage. And once again, fate has offered them an opportunity, a chance to do exactly just that. City, on the other hand, City will be playing in away from home. They will be playing Aston Villa. They'll be playing Aston Villa away from home. And remember, Villa, they have barely survived. They have barely survived staying in the Premier League. You know, that is thanks to the poor displays of Bristol City, especially in the last few games. they're not exactly comfortable in the league, but they're just there. So they don't have much going on for them. There's really nothing much for them to play on at the end of the season, other than the personal pride and bragging rights. There's really not much into it for Aston Villa. Meanwhile, Manchester City will be looking to grab all the 3 points and hope their bitter rivals, Manchester United, do the job again for them. Because as we've just found out, Spurs being Spurs, they were not able to do it. So that is how the WSL title running looks like. Yeah, the last game of the season, all the games from the last for the season finale will be played at the same time. They will all kick off at the same time, so there will be cameras everywhere. We'll be waiting for results from every corner of the country, waiting to see who takes the day. Yeah. So Manchester United hosting Chelsea at Old Trafford, while Aston Villa hosting Manchester City at... Will it be played at Villa Park? I'm not sure about it, but I'll keep you up to date on how things unfold. So we are waiting to see how things unfold. As for Arsenal will be closing their season against Brighton, and it will be the last game for WSL legend and star striker Vivianne Miedema, after the club controversially refused to extend her contract or offer her a new contract, and they decided to part ways. So this will be Arsenal's farewell match to their legendary striker Vivianne Miedema. Remember, she is the all-time top scorer for the WSL, leading with 79 goals, and also she holds the record for the most goal involvements in the league, as well as a couple of other records. By the way, we have dropped in a sort of farewell party of our own for Vivianne Miedema.
So as you can see, there will be farewells this season. Yeah, Frank Kirby and Mielde will be leaving Chelsea, as well as joining Emma Hayes, and Steph Houghton will be saying goodbye to Manchester City, and the aforementioned Vivianne Miedema. Vivianne Miedema is going to be leaving Arsenal. We're still not sure yet what is next for her, but from the look of things, she is keen to stay in the league, so probably she'll be staying in the WSL. I heard there are a couple of links with Manchester City, and I heard as well that Man United are interested. It will be the ultimate dagger to the heart for Man United to get someone like Vivianne Miedema from Arsenal on a free, kind of like Robin van Persie 2.0, kind of like that VP saga all over again, except this time that there'll be no transfer fee for Arsenal. Anyways, so that is how things stand in the WSL. Going on into the weekend, it will be a massive title decider once again. Spurs have already bottled the job. In a span of 1 week, Spurs have bottled the job twice in the men's and women's leagues. And now Manchester City and Arsenal have to rely on Manchester United and West Ham. Kind of iconic that the two sides have to rely on their rivals for them to get a chance at a shot of glory. Remember, Manchester City going on into the weekend, they are playing against Villa, at home to Villa. Away to Villa, while Chelsea will be playing away to Manchester United at Old Trafford. There's a kind of a big feel of a mighty major consequences. Remember, Chelsea have played Manchester United before in a title contender, back in 21-22. Yeah, when Arsenal and Chelsea were fighting out for the WSL title. Arsenal played West Ham on the last day of the season away to West Ham, while Chelsea played Manchester United at home. And the consequences were dire for both, because a draw or a win for Manchester United would effectively put Chelsea out of the title race, while a draw or a loss for Arsenal will definitely put them away from the title. So, and we saw in that season, Chelsea did the most. Chelsea, being their typical dominative self, they ate up that game, coming down from 1-0 down to win 2-0, courtesy of to win 2-1, sorry, courtesy of Sam Kerr brace, including sort of like it's an acrobatic, almost it was almost 30 yards, 40 yards out from Sam Kerr. So Chelsea have been able to do it in the past. They have been able to beat Man United when in the face of a title content decide a match. They've been able to do it in the past. So as for now, all Manchester City can do is do their job, that is win, and win as big as possible, because even the goal difference they are trailing, win and win as big as possible against Villa away from home, and then hope Manchester United will do the job for them. Yeah, it's really a tough position to be in. Yeah, it's very tough, but at the end of the day, there's really nothing much you can do. You just have to do your job and hope hope the rest unfolds in your favor. Yeah. Yeah, so let's see how it unfolds. Will Manchester City have a date with destiny, or will Chelsea, like in previous seasons, will they prove it? Will they prove that they are why they are why they are one of the best teams in the WSL? Will they prove why they are the perennial champions and win those difficult games? Will they do it? Will they go over the wire once again and make it a 5th straight WSL title? Or will Manchester City get a kiss of destiny and be brushed by Lady Luck? Yeah, so it all unfolds on Sunday on the season finale. Chelsea versus Manchester United at Old Trafford. Aston Villa versus Manchester City for the title. Who will take the crown home? Who will be having tears at the end of the day? Anyways, that is what the WSL has to offer. As you can see, it goes right down to the wire, and be sure to catch it up. Yeah, all games will be broadcasted at the same time. All of them will be kicking off at the same time on Sunday. So it will be one of those days whereby the tablets are on, the phones are on, the screens are on, and you just can't keep your eyes away from each and every other screen that is available. It will be an exciting end of the season in the WSL. Anyways, guys, let's see you in the next one, and hope you guys have a fantastic week ahead and have a fantastic weekend. Yeah, it's been real, it's been great, it's been fantasy football KE. Anyways, as usual, don't play yourself. Yeah, don't play yourself. Protect your tool, and you guys have a nice rest of the week. We'll catch you in the next one. I've been your host kama kawaida, Papa D, Papa Disaster, Papa Deno, and I'm out. We are out.